Alright guys, so I have the new Sony A7C here, and what I want to show you is how to use the Sony Imaging Edge software to remote control the camera and also to transfer photos and videos from your camera to your smart device. Now in this video, what I'm going to use is my new iPad. I did do another video using my Samsung and the Sony A6600 if you want to check that out to learn how to use it with a Samsung. It's pretty much the same exact thing. It's just a little bit different because this is an Android as opposed to a Mac operating system. But I want to show you how to do it on a iPad because I just got the iPad and it's much easier to use on the iPad. It's much larger to see and the pictures look amazing on it and stuff like that. But the concepts are basically the same no matter what mobile device you're using. The issue you may run into is like an older operating system on the iPad. It might not work. It might not work properly. You might have limited features. This iPad is brand new, so it has the latest software on it and it should work really good, as we'll see in a second. So first thing I'm going to do is go to the App Store here and I'm going to download the Imaging Edge mobile app. So I'm just going to hit this button here. It's a little cloud icon to download it, and then I'm going to go back to the home screen here and it should pop up. There it is right there, and it'll be downloaded in a second. So after that downloads, what we're going to do is we're just going to tap it to open it. And there we have it. And now you know the deal. Anytime you download new software, you always got to agree to whatever their terms are. And you know that it's pages and pages of lawyer talk probably, but whatever, it is what it is. And now it's asking you, what do you plan on using this app for? I'm just going to click that one. Select your subjects of interest. You do need to select one to go next, so I'm just going to hit that and click next. And then you can of course sign up if you want. I'm just going to skip that for now. And now it's giving you some new information because this app was just updated today. So it now supports the A7S Mark III. And it also supports touch focus for manual focus and touch tracking for AF while shooting movies. I don't believe that that works with the Sony A7C. I'll give it a try though. So I'm just going to click start. And then it's going to prompt you with all this type of stuff. Imaging Edge Mobile would like to use Bluetooth. Okay, sure, fine. And then it's asking you if it can have access to your photos. Yes, that's fine. Imaging Edge, would you like to send your notifications? I'm going to click no for that. And there we are. So now we're at the base screen that you get when you first open this app. So the first thing you're going to need to do basically is connect it to a camera. So what I want to show you first is how to transfer photos to your device. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit connect with a new camera, and now what I need to do is it's going to give me a QR code that I'm going to need to scan. So let me switch over to the camera here, turn the camera on. First thing I want to do is go into the menu, and right here, send to smartphone function. You can go in there, and then what you want to do is the sending target you're going to want to have set to original if you want full-size images. And you can only get full-size images if you're shooting in JPEG mode. If you're shooting in RAW quality, it's only going to send over a 2 megapixel proxy image because it does not support sending RAW files using the software. If you have your camera set to RAW plus JPEG or just JPEG shooting, then you can send the original file size. So that's where you set that. And then right here you have send to smartphone. If you click that, it's going to say, would you like to select the pictures on this device or would you like to select them on the smartphone? I'm just going to hit on this device. And then it's asking you what images would you like to select. So I'm going to go to multiple images in this case. And then we can scroll through here and I have video and images on here that I can select. And notice on the left there's a little checkbox. What you got to do is hit the center button here to select it, and now there's a little check in that box. See that? So I'm going to send this video over. I'm going to send this picture over. I'll send this picture, and this picture. So that looks good. And then it says hit the menu button for enter. So I'm going to hit menu, and now it's saying execute. I'm going to go to enter. It's going into Wi-Fi standby, and now it pumps out the QR code. So what I need to do now is scan this QR code with the iPad. So I'm just going to flip this screen out and turn it at a little bit of an angle so it's a little easier for me to scan it with the iPad. So I click the scan And now I'm going to click OK. Yep, you can access the camera. So now it turned on the all I did was turn the iPad towards the camera and it immediately saw that QR code. So that's how fast it works. Pretty darn smooth, I gotta say. So I'm gonna click join. So it's basically joining the Wi-Fi network that the camera currently has. And now it's gonna start copying the files over. So you could see on the camera here, that's what it looks like on the camera. And now here it's prompting me, Imaging Edge would like to find, and click OK. And now it's just giving you this warning message. You cannot copy HEIF images because they cannot be viewed on smartphones, blah, blah, blah. And then it's telling you some stuff about the video. These are the formats that it'll copy over, but it will not copy over formats that are higher than 100 megabits per second. And if you have it set to those modes here, it won't copy those files over. So what you have to do is enable proxy recording. Proxy recording is a feature on the camera that you can enable, and it'll basically create another video file, a proxy file, and if you want to copy those types of files over, you would have to have proxy recording turned on. So if you can't copy files over for whatever reason, it's probably because you need to turn on proxy recording. I'm just going to click OK. And as you can see, it is copying over the photos and files. And I have the camera set to 4K at 24p at 100 megabits per second, and it is copying that file over. This is a video file here. So it's copying over the video and the photos, which is pretty darn cool. And that's how you transfer photos and videos from your camera to your smart device. In my case, I'm using a new iPad. So it's pretty straightforward. It really isn't that difficult to set up if you're using it for this basic function. Now the next function I'm going to show you once this finishes copying is how to remote control your camera. It takes a while to copy the video file over because it's such a large file, 4K. It's probably going to be like 150 megabits or something like that, megabytes. So if you have a long video, you can expect it to take a while. All right, so images copied, okay. And now I can view the transferred images right here. Check that out. I mean, that is cool, right? And then you can pinch and zoom in, check the focus or whatever. Scroll. And here's the video. So there we go. I'm recording. Just change the angle a little bit. Here's another image. Another image. Now if you go up here, there's an icon with the eye, like info, and that'll give you the information here. So you can see that it did not copy the full-size image over. It copied only the proxy file over. So let me show you why that is. If I go done, and then I click settings here, look at up here on the top left. It says copy image size 2 megapixel. I don't have original selected. I have original selected on the camera, not on the device here. So I want it set to original. Now if I go back, and transfer the file again, so I'm just going to transfer one of them quick. So let me zoom in here. So I'm just going to transfer this one file here. When you're in the playback menu, all you have to do is hit the function button right there. See the FN button? There's a little symbol there. That's showing you send to smart device. So if I just hit that button while in playback, notice it says there, this image, all with this date, multiple images. I'm just going to say this image. And now it's going to put it back in Wi-Fi standby. Now watch this. Because I already connected to the camera, now I have the camera up here in my quick connect list. I could just click that. It's giving you the warning. Make sure you have Wi-Fi, make sure the camera is in Wi-Fi standby, and the camera is in Wi-Fi standby. See on the top right where it says Wi-Fi? So I'm good to go there. I'm going to click OK. And then it's going to ask, do you want to join the Wi-Fi network? Yes. And it's going to copy that image file over. And it's giving me this warning message again. I'm just going to click don't show again. And now it's copying the image over. And this time it should be the full resolution image. So let's take a look. Now if I click the info here, now you can see it's 6,000 by 4,000. So that is a full resolution image. So you see you have to have the full size original set on the smart device and also on the camera. And you have to be shooting in JPEG mode or RAW plus JPEG in order to get the full resolution file. So that's how you do it, guys. It's pretty straightforward. So now what I want to do is I want to remote control the camera. So let's say I have the camera set up in a situation where I don't want to touch it, like I want to get a long exposure or something like that. Let me just switch this around here. So what you got to do is, if you go into the menu, you have this feature here, control with smartphone. See that? If you go in there, control with smartphone, you're going to have to turn that on. I have mine on now. And then you have always connected if you want. I prefer to leave that off. And then if you go here to connection, it's going to put the camera in Wi-Fi standby again. See that? So now we're ready to go as far as controlling the camera remotely. So now if I go back to the app here, I'm just going to click the camera that I already have in the list. And it says before proceeding, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to click OK. Join. And now it says starts remote operation. See? Click OK. And now it's warning you it is necessary to set Bluetooth to off in the smartphone when the movement of the shooting screen is not fluid. So it uses Bluetooth by default, but it will also use Wi-Fi if the Bluetooth is not working. So I'm just going to click OK. And now I have remote control of the camera. So let me turn the camera a little bit so you can see the car. And there you have it. So now I have the ability to hit the button here to take a picture if I want. And you can see I just took a picture. And there's the photo. Pretty cool how that works. And what you can't do though is I can't seem to touch to focus. That feature does not work on the Sony A7C at this time. Maybe it will in the future, I don't know. But touch to focus does not work at this point. Now I can touch the camera. I just touched the camera on the wheel here, and you can see the focus is now on the front wheel. So, but I'm changing that using the camera. So you do have some options here though. These are the options you have: auto white balance, continuous autofocus, it's set to. You have drive mode, so this is where you would set self-timer and stuff like that if you want, or bracketing if you're doing HDR photography, for example. Then of course you can change the aperture, change the settings like that. But see how some stuff's grayed out, like the A on the top, because I'm in aperture priority mode? I can't change that, so I have to change that from the camera. So I just switched the camera to shutter priority mode. And now if I switch the camera to manual mode, and there you have it. Now, let me just change the shutter speed here. So I want to show you something. So now I'm in bulb mode. Bulb mode is really cool because what that allows you to do is you can open the shutter for as long as you want when using bulb mode. This is great for super long exposures, and you do not want to touch the camera when taking a long exposure because it'll introduce camera shake. So if you want those really long exposures, you can use bulb mode for that. And you can use the smart device for bulb mode, which is fantastic. So you don't need a remote control. You can use your smart device for this purpose. And basically what you do is you just slide that over, and now the exposure is open. It's just taking a shot right now for as long as that thing is set. And then you slide it back to stop taking the photo. So that's how you take a picture in bulb mode. And after the photo is done, it will then copy the photo over. And clearly it's overexposed because I had the shutter open for a really long time when it didn't need to be. But I just wanted to show you that you can use bulb mode with the remote control software, which is really a very powerful feature. You can also scroll if you swipe. See, if I swipe like that, this little scroll comes up, and now I can scroll much quicker through the shutter speeds, so you don't have to hit that arrow over and over and over. So that's pretty much how the remote control shooting works. Now you can also use it for video. If I switch the camera to video mode, you could see now I'm in video mode. And I could hit the record button right there. It'll record a video, and you can then, it'll automatically transfer the video to your smart device. And if you hit the menu button here on the bottom, you can go in here and you can change a bunch of different settings, which is pretty sweet. You can add a grid line if you want for better framing. Mirror mode, you have the mirror mode option there. You can also change the type of recording that you're doing here. Right now I have it set to 4K, but you can change that if you want. Oh, look at this, setting for mode dial operation. Let me change that to application. Click done. Now it's giving me the option to change the mode. Wow, that's cool. Now you can change that mode from the camera, from the app. I didn't realize you could do that. Really, really cool feature. Well, that's good to know. So again, if you go in the menu, setting of the mode dial operation is where I change that. So I would recommend changing that so you can change it from the device itself. So that is pretty much how the Imaging Edge app works. And by default, on the iPad, you can see here, if I go to Photos, let me go to Library, and here's the photos that I just transferred. You can edit them and stuff like that, and then you can share them by hitting the share button up there on the top. And here's the video. It'll automatically play, so you can see that works as well. So that is pretty much a crash course on how to use the Imaging Edge software when you want to transfer photos and videos from your camera to your smart device. In my case, I was using the iPad, and also, of course, to remote control the camera. Once you connect to a camera, it then stores it in this camera list, and it makes it very easy to connect in the future. So you can also share location information if you want. So if you have GPS on your smart device, you can then link it with the camera and you can add the GPS information, which is a very nice feature. And there's also down here, you got news and help. If you're having difficulty, you can click down here and try to figure out what's going on. You can also remote turn the camera on and off if you want. That's another powerful feature. All right, guys, so that is about it for this quick tutorial. I really hope you got something out of it. And if you have any issues, please, ask in the comment section below. I'd really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up if you found this video helpful. And also be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when new videos come out. Please let me know in the comment section below if this tutorial helped you out. I'd really appreciate that information. And I will catch up with you guys next time. All right, take care.